Hey, what's up, everybody? This is Michael Whittaker with Scorecraft Composer Academy, and today we're going to talk about cinematic tension. Now, there's all kinds of ways to add tension to your music, right? From clusters and, adding dissonance. But I'm going to show you 4 ways today and keep it relatively simple because a lot of times when you're just writing diatonic music means that it's within the chords of a key, right? So you'll have a major chord or a minor chord. We have to flip the switch, and something could happen on screen where we have to add tension, we have to add some sort of drama to the moment, right? So I'm going to show you 4 different ways today of really easily doing that, and maybe a way you haven't thought about before. So hope you're going to enjoy this. Smash the like and subscribe button if you like this kind of content. Let's get into it. All right, so I have my trusty Chordio app here. That's what this app is. Many of you have asked in the comments. By the way, if there's anything you guys want to learn, shoot them down in the comments for me, and maybe we can touch on those things. First of all, let's call this first example raise the root, right? All right, so this is really simple. So let's take a minor triad. In this case, let's take a C minor triad, and we have this kind of dark sound, right? And we want to suddenly add tension. What we're going to do is take this C minor and we're going to just raise the root, or we're going to go up a half step, and then we're going to make a major triad, which sounds happy, right? But not when we keep the root in the bass. So we're a C minor, we're going to keep the root in the bass, which is a C. And then we're going to go up a half step, raise the root, and play a D flat major over this. And suddenly we get this kind of darker sound. Really simple, right? Not complicated. Let's take a variation of that. And let's take what works sometimes even better is when we take a C minor and then we make it a sus chord, C minor sus. But in this case, I'm gonna hold the G down here, and I'm gonna take out the third. So it's all in fourths. So anytime you have a minor triad, you can make it a sus chord, take out the third if you want, and put the fifth on the bottom, and you get this fourth voicing of what really is, it could be minor or major. It's a little more ambiguous, right? This is sad. This is a standard minor chord. But at this fourth voicing, it could be minor or it could be major. Either one. But it's ambiguous. So I love that. In film scoring, we don't always want to hit you on the head with exactly what the emotion is. We want some, we want some ambiguity to it. So let's take a look, and let's use this fourth of our minor triad as the third of our raise the root. So we have the D flat triad, right? D flat, F, and G flat. Or sorry, not G flat, A flat, D flat, F, and A flat. And so here's our sus. And we're just going to raise these 2 bottom notes up. Now we have a little more tension. Let's try that on another chord. Let's try that on F minor. So here's our F minor triad. If we just want to raise the root. Up to F sharp, but if we want this more open sounding, we're going to take the fourth, the root, and the fifth down here. We're going to put the root which is F, in the bass, and then now all we're going to do is raise these 2 bottom notes up. great way. So that's number one, raise the root. All right, we've done raise the root. Now let's do lower the root. This example I think is really awesome in sci-fi music. Everything from Star Wars, to like maybe an Aliens or something like that. It gives you a really creepy effect. Let's take a look. All right, before we get into lower the root, some of you are probably going to ask, well, what is that cool sound and how do you make that sound? What is that library? Well, it's actually a combination of multiple libraries, which I have a couple videos on how to make stacks and my favorite stacks. Well, this one is really cool. It's very useful. It's a soft ensemble sound that has a lot of emotion and moving sounds in it, right? So I use the British Drama Toolkit here from Spitfire, the Albion Woodwind Ensemble from Spitfire 1, the Combi Patch. This is the Legacy version. The Hans Zimmer strings, muted strings. You can use any muted strings. And then from Albion 5 Tundra, I use the Soft and Wild patches, both low and high together. And then I'm going to use the originals Frozen cinematic strings. That's from the Spitfire library also. And you get this effect with that. And let's play lower the root. Here it goes. Watch this. Super cool for sci-fi. And let's take a listen to that with a bit like a cool, some cooler MIDI. All right, so that's a really cool sci-fi sound. Now let's talk about how do we get that, right? All right, let's take a look at this. It's really simple. Again, let's take our C minor triad. This works with minor triads. Let's take a look at the C minor, and we're gonna, instead of going to D flat like our last example, raising the root, we're gonna lower it and play a major triad, which is B, right? But we have to keep the root. So the lower woodwinds, the contrabassoons and bassoons, you want to keep them holding down the root. Your trombones and your tubas, bass trombones, hold down your root. In this case, our root is a C of a C minor triad. Also in your strings, your cello and bass, it's a good idea to hold them down there as well. You don't have to, but it works really well. So again, this is that sound. I'll try and do it without programming it. See that? C. And this is, I'm playing all four, I'm playing the octave with the G. So I'm playing it in second inversion, really, and then going down. And what's really cool is if you wait, you can hold up high, and all that darkness can wait until you go down and then play the low root notes. Let's do it on another chord. Let's do it on F. And we're going to go down to E. Love that. All right, so that's our second example, lowering the root. All right, so looking at our third example, I want to point out that two of the most dissonant areas of sound in music are going to be the raised root, right? So if we're in the key of C, this D flat or C sharp, playing these, or any half step at the same time is a very dissonant sound, right? So that in itself is a great tool. If something pops out, use this minor second. But Also, if you go down a half step, this, which is also a minor second, this is also very dissonant, but we can also move that up the octave. So we get what would be part of a minor major 7 chord. And the other place that I think is a very dissonant region would be the raised or lower 5th. So this area. And let's focus on that one for today. But you might take a chord like this, which is an open chord, or it could even be a major or minor triad. Let's start with open and just add that raised 5th. The raised 5th is a really adds a creepiness to it. And it's like something's coming, add this raised 5th at the same time. Right? We can also add the raised root. Not quite as strong as. And then if we want to doubly make it creepy, let's add the raised or the major 7. So we get that effect, right? And we can move that around. Just moving that shape around, right? Let's try it on B flat. Great shape for dissonance. Or just our open voicing and raise the 5th at the same time. Also works when you're on a minor triad. And we just want to add some tension. It gives us almost a heroic feeling. It can, especially if we if we raise the 5th and we add it below. Now we seem like that superhero sound, right? Wow. It sounds like a flat 6 over 1. Building of that superhero sound. And then if we move our root down to the flat 6, we will indeed get that superhero vibe. Wow. Right, so that is another example. Let's take a look on paper what it might look like and sound like, and hopefully this has been a good lesson for you on cinematic tension. You know, we talk about this a lot in my film scoring course at Scorecraft Academy. If you go to scorecraftacademy.com, I have a 5-month intensive program designed for people that really want to work in film and TV and want to do the hard work that it takes to do great work. You know, nothing's more rewarding than learning these sorts of things and applying it to your own composition. But if you don't know, you don't know. You can certainly surf around YouTube videos, but my goal is in 5 months to get you to a completely new level, both on the harmonic side and the MIDI mockups and all that, but also the business side as well, right? You're a business person as well. So if you're interested, go to scorecraftacademy.com and the links are below, and at least check it out. It might be for you. All right, for those of you who want to see this on paper, here we go. We have a C minor triad going to D flat over C. And remember and this was raise the root, and see how the bassoons and contrabassoons, they're all holding the low C. Also here we got trombones and tubas. I could have written more, but I was lazy. And I left the strings out of these first 2 examples. So let's listen to raise the root C to D flat. All right, And now let's take a look at that open voicing, which was C sus to D flat, where the F, is going to hold over. Like we have the piccolo holding over, we have the flute holding over. They're holding this F, and that's going to be kind of the connection between that more open sound and a dissonant sound. Here it goes. It's a little more ambiguous. If we were to just isolate the woodwinds, it would be like this. All right, and now let's go to that cool sci-fi chord we learned, which is lower the root, which would be B over C, and we get this kind of effect. Did I actually write some strings on this? I did. So let's take a look at this. Yeah, I love that kind of for that creepy sci-fi sound. And we have French horns here. Just, a simple change of chords. But in the lower, trombones and bass trombones, and even the tuba, we get this just pedal of the root. Now we were hearing the piccolo at the same time, and the same should be in the cello and the bass. That's what really makes this kind of work. If you don't have the pedal in the low notes, it doesn't work right. So yeah, with that, then you get the strings going. Now, of course, this doesn't sound great because it's in a notation software, and it would sound much better with all the cool sample libraries that I showed you earlier. But let's go now to raising the fifth. So we have a C, open C here, and we are going to simply add. We're going to keep the fifth, but you're also adding the raised fifth at the same time, adding more tension. All right, so that was raising the fifth. And now for our final example was raising the fifth and also adding the raised ninth with this as well. So let's take a listen to that. All right. So there are 4 ways to make tension. There are so many other ways to do this, but I didn't scroll down through this. You can look if you want at the voicings for the brass and the again, the holding the roots. It's not super complicated. It's a super easy technique once you learn it, and just think about chords, raising the root, lowering the root, and making a major triad, or just adding a raised fifth or a raised ninth. And you can even use the raised root or the flatted second, however you wanted to look at that. But hopefully this has been helpful. Again, I'd love to work with you at Scorecraft Academy, but smash that like and subscribe button, and we will see you on the next video.